Hi, hello. I welcome everyone to today's lecture. This is Dr.R.Thulasiram, Associate Professor, Department of Social Sciences, Faculty of Agricultural Sciences, Bharat Institute of Higher Education and Research, Chennai. Today, the topic for discussion is risk and uncertainty in agricultural production. This is one of the important topics that is being covered under the course Farm Management, Production and Resource Economics. So this course comes for the second year students, particularly for their third semester. And this course has three different parts. One is farm management, second one is production economics, and the third one is resource economics. And as far as this farm management is concerned, we need to talk about these production aspects of farmers, the types of farming that they follow, systems of farming that they encounter, etc. So when they try to produce any crop, they will face some risk in the agriculture business. So what are the risks that they face? What are the uncertainties that they face in their agricultural production? And what is risk and what is uncertainty in general? That and all will be dealing in this class. Let us move on to the lecture. First of all, when a farmer tries to produce a crop, he needs to invest some money. That is, he is putting his own money. And when he invests some money, he will be expecting an income which is more than the money which is invested to raise this crop. So wherever the money is involved, there is high risk factor involved in that business. So when you take, for example, banking sectors, it is highly risky. Even for the managers, it is highly pressurized job because money is involved in that. And as far as agriculture in India is concerned, of course, it is the backbone of our country. But still, as most of the farmers in India is falling under the category called small and marginal farmers, where they possess only 0.5 acres or 1 acre, or mostly it is below 2 acres of land holding. So with this meager land holding, whatever they produce, that will be very less in quantity. So if there is any problem that these farmers encounters with respect to the production aspects, there will be highly risk. It is highly risky to get very, very low yield in their business. So they put in inputs and they do some production process, and in turn, they get some yield. And by selling this yield with the respective market price, they will get some income. And when you subtract this cost involved in cost of cultivation from the total income of farmers, what they get in extra is called as profit. So what are the different types of risk and uncertainties that the farmers face in their agricultural production process? That we will be dealing in this class. So during the production process, these farmers have to face many people, and they need to get input from one fellow, and they need to get other input from other fellow. They need to depend on some other person to get finance to start their business, because not every time during the sowing season the farmers will be equipped with enough money. But if they don't have money during the sowing process, they have to borrow money either from the money lenders, friends, neighbors, or from any financial institutions. So the farmers during this production process, they depends on many people to get the income. So when you take the commodity as a whole, if you take any commodity, so it needs to go through a series of activities, starting from the suppliers, that is the input suppliers, from where the farmers will get input supplied. Okay, so by getting these inputs, they will incorporate these resources in the production process, and in turn, after the production methods that they follow, they will get some yield. So they will be facing some suppliers to get some input. Say, for example, they have to buy seeds, quality seeds. They need to buy farmyard manures. They need to buy pesticides, insecticides, other chemicals, and they need to also buy laborers. That is, they need to hire laborers for wages, etc. So when the farmer has all these input factors available in their hand, they can go for the production process. So throughout this process, since they need to face lots of steps in this production process, it is highly risky. The risk that they face that may be available in any of these steps. So they need to get through all these risks. Right. So if you take, apart from agriculture production process, if you take agriculture marketing also, right? So they need to convert these farm inputs to the farm outputs, and then this needs to be sold to the customers. So it is highly risky uh, both during the production process and also during the marketing process of a product. So first of all, let me tell you about risk and uncertainty. Risk is where the probability of an event to occur is known to everyone. That is, if I face a risk, I can tell you what may happen in the future. Say, for example, if I cultivate a piece of crop, I may not be aware of how much yield that I can get, but I can easily guess that I may get a reduced yield. I may get a higher yield in the future. So that is the guess that I can make. So the probability of an event, of this event to occur, is known to me. So that is called as risk. Whereas on the other side, uncertainty, it is not known to anyone, because we cannot guess such things. Examples: weather forecast, no weather problems, sudden rainfall, earthquakes in any of the regions, sudden pest attack. No, that you can never guess. The probability of this event to occur is unknown to many people, most of the people. So that is called as uncertainty. People always tell, no, I am uncertain of what is going to happen. Okay, what is going to happen, I cannot certain about what is going to happen. That is what people tell. So they are not aware of what is going to happen. They cannot guess. There is no probability that you can guess about the event to happen. So this is the core difference between risk and uncertainty. So risk is anything that we can guess, okay, that is going to happen in the future. So since you can guess this risk, you can get rid of this risk by some precautions. So that is also what we are going to see in this class. Right, as I told you, you may guess that I may end up in loss, I may end up in profits, my profit may get reduced because of a reduction in price of my commodity in the market. I may get more profit because of the higher price that my product is going to get in the market. So these kind of things, the probability is known for you. Okay, right. So whereas uncertainty, the probability of an event to occur, it is not known to anyone. So this is the core difference between risk and uncertainty. Right. So what are the different types of risk that this agriculture production farmers faces in agricultural production? Right. The first one is physical risk, second one is price risk, and the third one is institutional risk. So each risk is very important in agricultural production, and we will see about each and every type of risk in detail. The first type of risk is called physical risk. Right. What happens here, as the name itself indicates, it is physical, right? So there will be some reduction in the quantity or quality. So both quantity and quality, it shows about physics, right? Physical property. So if there is any reduction in the quantity or quality of a product, then it may be coming under physical risk. So when the quality or quantity of our stored product is getting damaged, if there is a fire accident, the first cause of physical risk is losses due to fire accidents. The second one is we may also face losses due to the incidence of rodents, pest, and disease in our stored places. Whatever the agricultural commodities that we store as a farmer in our godown, in our home, or in our any storage structures, starting from cereals, pulses, wheat, fruits, vegetables, etc., you may have to face some rodents, pests, and other diseases that attacks your product. So when these things attacks your products, what happens? There will be a deterioration in your both in the quality and quantity of your product. And ultimately, if you remove all the poor quality products after these incidents, you will have only limited quantity. That is what it is mentioned, like losses in the quantity and quality of the product. So you will be removing all the damaged fruits from the lot. So if you remove all the damaged fruits, if you have totally 90 kg of fruits, if you remove 10 kg, you will have only 80 kg. So there is a reduction of 10 kg in your stored products. So here you can see these things are called as beetle, beetles. So these things normally they used to attack, they used to eat these kind of stored pulses and cereals. Okay, so here you can see the beetle, rice beetle, wheat borer. No, these things not just bored through the grains, and that thus causes both quality and quantity damage. And the next one is the losses due to improper packing. So each and every product, based on the nature of the commodity, we need to properly pack it accordingly. Say for example, if the commodity is fragile commodity, say for example glasswares, tomato. No, these commodities are coming under the category called fragility. That is, it can be breakable. It can get broken. So what you need to do according to this nature of product, you need to carry a specific packaging practices. So if it is bottles, no, or something, no, that for that also you need to go for a specific packaging. If it is apple or any other fruits, you need to go for a cardboard, a corrugated fiber board. They tell CFB board. So inside which you need to go for placing some papers, waste papers, just it adds as a cushion for the stored products. No, that helps the fruits and vegetables from getting damaged. So if this packaging is poor in terms of storing, when you store your products, then that also leads to some loss in quantity and quality of the products. So these are the three different causes for the loss in the quantity and quality of the product. So next type of risk that the farmers face in agricultural production is price risk. So what happens when there is fluctuation in the price of agricultural products? That is, sometimes it may reach a higher point and sometimes it again comes to the lower point. So due to these fluctuations, that is the upward and downward movement of prices in the prevailing market, the farmers will face risk, because if the price of their respective product is high in the market, according to this, they will go for higher cultivation area. Okay, instead of going for 1 acre of cultivation, they will go for 3 acres or 4 acres of cultivation. So suddenly after harvesting, the price may come down. So by thinking about this higher price only, they have engaged themselves for a more acreage of land under cultivation. But since the price has come down, they will be under trouble. So this is called as price risk. So here you can see this tells the demand and supply of agricultural products. No, sometimes the demand of a product may be higher than the supply. That time price will be high, and again the supply will be more than the demand. That means you have more quantity than the demand. So people will not beg for any sellers to get a product. So the price will come down. Again for another season, the season 3, the demand will be more than the supply, and that time the price will be more than your expectation. So these are the things that happens because of the demand and supply, and demand and supply is considered as the market forces that decides the price in any market. So based on the demand and supply, the price of a product will have an upward and downward trend, and this fluctuations is called as price risk to the farmers. And the third risk that is called as institutional risk. Here you should understand that institution in the sense it is the risk that is coming because of the government. So what happens? The government will come up with a different type of policy. They can suddenly change the policy. Because of this change in policy, the farmers will get affected. Say for example, there may be a rule where there is no restriction for the farmers to export their harvested product to some other country. Because of this, the farmers would have been earning a lot of money throughout some 3 years or 4 years. Suddenly, at the starting of 5th year, the Indian government may come up with a new policy where they may restrict the flow of goods from their country to other countries. So the farmers, they have already planned for their production process, and accordingly they have produced a lots and lots of quantity of product. Suddenly, if there is any restrictions to move this product from our country to other country, the farmers will be facing some risk. So this risk is arising out of the government, and that is why it is called as institutional risk. So it may be due to the change in export and import policy, which is forced by the government. And because of this also, the effect of value of rupee on export and import, that also will have a change, right? So next one is the uncertainties that the agricultural production faces. There may be price uncertainty, yield uncertainty, technological uncertainty, and institutional uncertainty. So as I told you, uncertainty, that is, we don't know anything about that. You can never guess what is going to happen. That is, the probability of an event to occur is unknown. So what happens in price uncertainty? The price of the products or inputs also. Product in the sense it is outputs, and inputs is resources. So the price of both inputs and output are not known to the farmers with certainty. You cannot guess what's going to be the price. That is uncertainty. And yield also, the farmers cannot predict the yield of the crops because of the weather conditions, incidence of pest and diseases. Recently, there is a locust attack in some of the states in India and also in foreign countries, especially in Pakistan. That is what you can never expect something to happen. Okay, so these things are coming under uncertainty. And there may be some technological uncertainty where farmers may not be aware of the exact impact of new technology on the quantity and quality of yield. They don't have any guess. No, if they go for applying a new technology, they can only hope for a result, but they can never hope what's going to happen. They can never have a guess. And institutional uncertainty, the condition of tenure, functioning of credit facilities, agencies, are some of the examples for institutional uncertainties, and it is arise due to the government policy, right? So we have seen so far some of the important types of risk and uncertainty, starting from price risk, yield risk, and also institutional risk, otherwise called as government risk, due to government policies. Now we need to take care of this risk and how we can manage this risk. That we will see from now on. The first control measures is to control this physical risk, and because that is what we have discussed as the first type of risk. So to control physical risk, we need to take care of the quality and quantity of the stored products, agri products. So you need to use fireproof materials in the storage structures that we use. And also you can go for a proper packaging material so that we can transfer the risk. No, we can reduce the risk. And also sometimes you can insure your crop when you are cultivating the crop. No, there is a concept called crop insurance, like how we have for insurance for bikes, cars, etc. We can also have insurance for crop. That is, we can insure our cultivated crop. Okay, the standing crop can be insured with the help of crop insurance company. So what happens when you insure this crop? When there is any problem in the near future due to poor climate or pest incidents, there is yield reduction. Since you have already insured your crop, you will be paid with a compensation amount. So in such a way, what we does, we are transferring this physical losses to the insurance company. We are not going to bear this risk because it will be bared by the insurance company unless or otherwise you insure your crop to the company. And it also gives necessary pre-storage treatments. If you give these kind of things, then you can get rid of the physical risk that you encounters. The second type of control measures, and this is exclusively for price risk, because the farmers are always considered to be the price taker, not the price maker. That is, they don't have any say on price fixation, but whatever price fixed by the other buyers, no, that is to be taken by the farmers. They cannot fix their price on their own. So the fixation of minimum and maximum price by the government is one of the important things that helps the farmers. And also you can go for contract farming, that I will deal in the future slides. And we can also adopt forward and future contract marketing methods, and we can go for speculation and hedging, which will be dealt in the future slides. And before going to the next slide, I would like to inform you about the minimum and maximum price fixed by the government. Sometimes when the price is very low, it encourages the consumer to buy more, but it discourages the farmers. It affects the farmers. So what happens in those instances, the government will fix a minimum support price. That is, beyond that, the price should not be reduced. This is to help the farmers. And this price, which is fixed as minimum, is called as floor price. You please remember the floor, which is in the lower side of the room. And if the price is too maximum, that encourages the producers, they will get more profit, but that discourages the consumer in buying commodities. So that time they will fix a maximum price called ceiling price, which is at the top. So that is the maximum price beyond which the price should not be fixed for any of the commodities. So this price policy mechanism through government that will check this price risk. And as I told you, contract farming is one of the important things, techniques that you can follow to reduce the price risk. So what happens here, there will be an agreement between the farmer producer and the processor or buyer. Here, any factory owner who is considered to be the processor, who is buying the product from the farmers, they can be considered as buyer. The consumers also buys product from farmers, they can be called as buyer, and the processors who need this harvested products for producing any finished goods in their company, they also buying the product directly from the farmers, and they can be considered as buyers. So inputs for the production is supplied by this buyer, and it increases the private sector investment in agriculture. And because of this agreement that is being made, whatever may be the price in the future, it doesn't affect the farmer because already they agreed upon a price with the buyers. So because of this, it generates steady source of income to the farmers. And there are some of the private companies who are involved in contract farming. To be exact, I can tell you one example about Suguna Poultry Farm, which is located at Coimbatore. So what they do, they supply inputs to the farmers and they takes care of rearing. The farmers takes care of rearing, and after the chickens have been grown up, so this product will be sold again to the same company which delivers the input to the farmers. So this is just an agreement made between the farmers and the private agencies, that is company. So in that sense, what happens, the farmers are getting inputs and also the farmers are getting income, and this companies which requires products in the form of chicken or whatever it is, poultry or whatever it is, so that is being done by the farmers. So that is a mutual agreement between farmers and private companies. So this is the symbol of Suguna Foods. You have n number of private companies that does the same job. Right. So next, one of the important control measures that we can follow to get rid of this risk in agriculture production, especially the yield risk, is crop insurance. So it is not the usual solution to the risk and uncertainties, but insurance has a limited role in risk management in farming. So what happens, the farming enterprises and systems are so dynamic, and the design of insurance solutions must be equally dynamic. So there are different types of insurance available. All this insurance follows the same approach. So you need to tell the area in which you cultivate the crop and the season in which you are going to cultivate a particular crop, and what is the crop that you are going to cultivate, and the level of damage has to be measured, and they will check for the reason of damage. If the yield reduction is found to be reasonable with some good reasons, favorable reasons or valid reasons, then only the farmers are able to claim their compensation. And so that because of this insurance company, the risk will be shared between the farmers and the insurance company. So it is one of the important schemes that was started by Indian government, that is Agricultural Insurance Company of India Limited. So under this, there are lots of insurance for different crops that is being cultivated by the farmers. So these are the present schemes that is coming under Agriculture Insurance Company. That is Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, that is rainfall insurance. Restructured weather-based crop insurance scheme, that is the revised weather-based crop insurance scheme. Unified package insurance scheme. National Agricultural Insurance Scheme. Biofuel tree and plant insurance scheme, exclusively for biofuels. Cardamom plant and yield insurance scheme, that is for spices, that is carried out by Spices Board. And potato crop insurance scheme, that is the king of vegetables, for which exclusively there is an insurance scheme. There is also pulpwood tree insurance policy, rainfall insurance scheme for coffee, rubber plantation insurance, Varsha Bima or rainfall insurance. That is Varsha in the sense it is nothing but rainfall. So for a rainfall, there is a specific insurance. Weather insurance for exclusively for rabi crops, and for coconut and palm, there is a specific insurance scheme. So these are the present schemes which are available under All India Agriculture Insurance schemes. So these are some of the upcoming schemes that is going to be started by the Government of India. Sugarcane insurance, tea insurance, insurance for basmati rice, aromatic and medicinal plant insurance, and contract farming insurance. So there is one more scheme that is coming under Agriculture Insurance Company, that is NAIS, very important scheme. That is National Agricultural Insurance Scheme. It was started in the year 1999. Under this scheme, all the farmers and all the crops have been covered within 2002, and they follow some, they take control over the defined area and localized calamities. There will be 50% premium subsidy for small and marginal farmers. The farmers who hold very meager land holding will be given with 50% premium subsidy. That is, to become an insurance member, you need to pay premium amount. If the premium amount is 10,000, the farmers can pay only 50,000. That is 50% out of the total premium amount. So in case of any problems encountered by the farmers and their crops, they will be paid with a compensation amount since they have insured their crop earlier. It is implemented by Government of India by new organization, Agricultural Insurance Corporation, AIC, from the year 2003. And there is also insurance for livestock. Okay, an animal is insured up to 100% of the market value. The value of a cow is 40,000. You can insure the total value of a cow. And there is also weather-based crop insurance. It was started in the year 2003 and 4. So this insurance can be claimed for the losses which happened due to vagaries of the weather. And if there is any deviation that is encountered in terms of rainfall index, this insurance can be claimed by the farmers. And there is Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana for rainfall insurance. Here it was started in the year 2016 Kharif season. Here insurance is given against any yield loss, prevented sowing. Means if the sowing is being postponed, that may end up in a low yield. So for that also you can claim, as a farmer you can claim insurance. Localized calamities that the farmers encounters with, and post-harvest losses that gives damage to the farmer's yield. And there is a term called indemnity, that is claim payouts based on yield losses shall be calculated as per the following formula. So how can we claim the amount? How it is fixed? It may be based on the shortfall in yield divided by threshold yield. Threshold yield is the maximum yield. Minimum yield that should be enjoyed by the farmers. And shortfall yield, how much yield is being reduced, and it is multiplied by sum insured. And the answer that will give the compensation amount of the farmers. Some of the other products of agriculture insurance scheme developed in-house now is rainfall insurance scheme for coffee. It is given against diminished coffee output, that is diminished coffee yield resulting from shortfall or excess actual rainfall. Because the rainfall, not only when it is very less, it gives problem to the farmers in terms of yield reduction, but also when a crop receives excess rainfall, that also will lead to the reduction in yield. And there is an insurance for biofuel tree and plant insurance policy covered against any drought risk faced by the biofuel plantations. And cardamom plant and yield insurance, this will be claimed during the death or loss of any plant bushes. So these are some of the important control measures that the farmers can get, they can avail through insurance schemes. And once they have produced everything, all the products, once they have produced all the products, what they need to do, they need to market these products. Okay, this risk is not stopped with the production aspects. Okay, after producing it, the farmers, first of all, they put inputs. No, they invest money in the production process, for which they need to buy inputs. To buy inputs, they need to contact different types of suppliers, input suppliers. Well, I need to get pesticides from one supplier. Okay, insecticides from, the fungicides from other herbicides. And I need to go for some other thing. Laborers I need to get from other area. I need to hire them for wage. I need to negotiate wages with those laborers. So after buying all these inputs, I have to incorporate these inputs for the production process. So this itself, it is highly risky. After that, we will start the production process. In due course, during the production process, as a farmer, he may encounter lots of risk. That is what we have seen so far. So after facing all this risk, he encounters all this risk through this insurance, yield risk, fireproof materials, etc. He will get the harvested product. That is, the yield is with his hand. So now his responsibility is, now it cannot give him money. Once it is getting sold to the nearby market, the farmers are safe. Okay, it is not about producing anything, it is marketing the same thing for money. So once they receive the true value of their product, then only the farmers are said to be in the safer zone. So when in a market, when they are ready to sell their product, when the price is found to be very, very less, okay, what they do, they will keep the product at present. Okay, they will sell the product to some middleman or any intermediaries. What they do, when the price of the product is very less in the market, they will keep the product at the present. They don't sell the product because the price is low in the market. What they do, they will expect the price to become high in the near future. When the price becomes high, they will make this opportunity and they will sell their produce. So that is called as speculation. Okay, right? But whereas in hedging, you can see the intermediaries will buy the product when the price is very, very low in the market, and then they will sell it in the higher price market. The hedging, they do it very suddenly. Say, for example, I can, as an intermediary, I will get the product from one farmer one market, I will sell this product to another market where I can get high price. So this action that happens very quickly. So the hedgers, they don't take any risk. But speculation, if the farmers follow speculation, what happens? It is highly risky. Why? Because as a farmer, if I don't sell my product because of the low price prevalence in the market, what I do, I will keep this product in my home, in my house or godowns or warehouses, etc. And I will expect the price to become more in the future. What happens if the price never goes high? It is highly risky for the farmers because quality deterioration will happen if you wait longer period to sell your product. So that is why speculators are always considered to be the risk takers, and the hedgers are considered to be the risk avoiders. The farmers always, they need to be risk avoiders because they should never wait to sell their product by expecting higher price. And the person who has more money, the person who runs a business by taking advantage over any price fluctuations, they can take the risk because they are rich in terms of income level. So they can take this risk and they are called as speculators. And that's all for today's class. In this class, we were discussing about different types of risk and uncertainties that the farmers face in agricultural production. And also we have seen what are the different types of risk and also the different types of uncertainties and how to control this risk and uncertainties in agricultural production so that the farmers will not be in trouble in the future course of time. So that's all for today's class. I hope you enjoyed and liked this class. We will be meeting again in future course of time with some other interesting lectures. Until then, it is bye from Thulasiram. Thank you.